Horses joint tote favourites 1 and 12. Let's see who ends up the tote favourite. They're sprinting away from the 1200 metre marker. Exclusively on the right hand side in the all oranges right there. Lucky Break has a good position. Harry Cleaver is right there shortly after the start. Comic Book Hero also a good position, is pacing it with them. Towards the outside of that one also there is Devash. Mandolin Rain's also among the leading group. Message in a Bottle's a couple of lengths off the leader. Scrum Off is on the right hand side in the club blue with the black cap just in front of Mighty Monarch as they come down to the last 500 metres. So Lucky Break just about the leader on the stand side. Message in a Bottle, Devash. Harry Cleaver still right there exclusively. Scrum Off is towards the inside. Mr. President in the pink is starting to get into the race now. Chillingham is towards the inside. Lucky Break the leader. Mr. President exclusively and Scrum Off as they come to the 200. Scrum Off on the inside in the club blue. Lucky Break is on the outside. Lucky Break and Scrum Off over the last 100, but Scrum Off takes it up and Scrum Off is running powerfully and Scrum Off is going to win. So Scrum Off has won it. Lucky Break second. Mr. President and below involved for third and fourth, then Mandolin Rain. Long absence off the track for Scrum Off. Number 1, the Gelding by Mesk's approval, 34 weeks off the track. And is victorious Scrum Off. Stuart Randolph, Gavin Van Zyl in the club blue. Second, Lucky Break, a big run. Back in second, that's number 12. Third position, Bilal, then Mr. President. Runs into that fourth position, then Mandolin Rain, exclusively Message in a Bottle, then Cape Canaveral, followed by Valmont, and then came Mighty Monarch. Further back, Comic Book Hero, Devash, and then came Harry Cleaver. So as we look at the head-on, just shows tote favourite at the moment as number 1, Scrum Off. So if it stays that way, Scrum Off is the tote favourite with the scratching of both Gurkha Chief and Aleche. And you'll see Scrum Off continues to find from that inside gate, tacked over to the middle out and wins it from Lucky Break in that second position. That's the third race, a race time of 71.22. The fourth race starts off our pick six. It was due off at 14:20. As soon as we have more information about that, we'll give you the time. It is a carryover of 325,000 rand, the pick six. Estimated pool 1.8 million. Back to the studio.
Coming back from a rest in Gelding, number 1, Scrum Off, has come back to the course in tip-top condition and pulled off the victory. Well done, Stewie. Just looking for a bit of cover to the inside?
Yeah, no, big thanks to Gareth and his team. I think he was planned for 14, but thank goodness Gareth said no, we'll put him back in the 12. He's going to come back fresh and hopefully just get him covered up, and want to rather see him finish his race. Yeah, it worked out. He came a little bit sluggish. I was able to get a little bit of cover, but then the first part of the race he started to take a bit of a hold. I was a bit in trouble there. Yeah, I let him move out a bit earlier, and then he sort of settled in his rhythm. And I asked him for an effort to quicken up nicely, so thank goodness for that.
Yeah, judged on this victory, he'll probably improve with another run or two under the belt, and he'll pick up a few heats.
Yeah, he gave me a nice feel, Sheldon. I think, once he starts to learn to settle in the early part of the races, he'll start to go a bit further, and I think he will pick up more.
Now you got Pilgalvin Star and Mike's Choice. They look competitive runners.
Yeah, the 2-5, those kind of fields, anything can happen. And Mike's Choice, I just hope I got him in a good mood, because he's that type of horse. If he come here, he can run past a fair sort, but if his mind is not on it, then we'll just have to hope we get him to change it for him.
Well done.
Thanks a lot. Thanks.
Let's get Gareth Van Zyl in the Son of Miesk's approval, bred by Mr. Rolls. Now coming back from the break, you had him fit enough?
Yes, Sheldon. Big thanks to Stuart. He's been putting a lot of work back in the yard. He's a horse which, I was struggling to find whether 1400, 12, even considering perhaps trying to get him ready for 1600, and he's just been a bit keen, and he's a horse that wants the distance, but thankfully we brought him back starting off fresh in the 12, and thank you to Stuart for good advice for us putting him in this race. More importantly than that, owners have been very patient with this horse. Edwin Foster, he's a stalwart of our stable, he's part of the team, and it's just a great privilege to be able to bring this horse home for him today with great partners, Rita, Governor, Kessie. They've got a touch of gold as well with other horses they've got doing really nicely. And thank you to them for their patience. It hasn't been straight sailing. He was beaten 3 times down the straight when we did expect better shows, but in hindsight those were horses like Peter Culture and Olarife and horses that have gone on. So it's a horse that's going places, and thanks to my dad for the opportunity as well.
Now, for the guys who like Moonflight out there, he showed good improvement last time. How's he doing back home?
He's doing nicely, Sheldon. I expect him to be right there.
Well done.
Thank you.
Well done to the Gavin Van Zyl stable. Gareth keeping a close eye on all the runners down here. And Scrum Half, he's come back from that 239-day absence in gelding. Guided through by jockey Stuart Randolph. And the numbers you need, 1, 12, 4 and 2. Reminder, the late scratchings, number 3, Gurkha Chief. And also the original favourite, number 11, Elichi. And the toad favourite looked to be number 1, Scrum Half, passing the post.